Today, I want to share that, I am grateful. Um, in Hawaii, I get to see both beaches, amazing beaches, and mountains same time. It's amazing. Like if you guys never been here, the views are spectacular. The pictures I'm taking, they don't do it justice. It sucks. I might need a better camera. I'm taking it on an iPhone, but man, the views is amazing. Like you gotta be here. And I thought Japan was cool. I see why people want to go to Hawaii. You're surrounded by water. There's beaches all the time. You know, I'm just reminded how amazing my life is, how fortunate I am, how blessed I am. Be able to take my entire family to this Asian trip. 7 people going across the world, 2 young kids. It would be easier if it was just me and my wife and my kids, right? It would be super relaxed if it was just me and my wife. But that's not the case. Joking, but I'm serious. If you guys are single, you have the freedom to travel, enjoy it now. Don't rush into marriage. Don't rush into having kids just yet. Take your time. Like focus on building, whatever you're trying to build, just experience a little bit, build and then experience, build and then experience. That's the plan right there. If you're single, focus on building, spend 6 months going really hard on building something, and then go take a vacation and come back and do it again. And just enjoy that moment. But I'm here in Oahu, in Hawaii. Amazing beaches, amazing mountains. I mean, this place is probably the most isolated place on the planet. That's what I'm reading, and that's what they're saying. But man, everything's just great here. The weather is like 70 to 80. At nights like 70s. Sometimes it goes into 60s. Morning time is like 80s. And when you're walking or hiking, it's like a cool breeze, like a fan blowing in your face constantly. And it's awesome, right? It's never truly really hot. In Texas, it's really hot. It's like 101 sometime, 102. Dude, it's just straight up hot. In Vietnam, it was just a hot and wet. In Japan, it was just raining and cold. In Hawaii, it's like 70, 80, and you get little drizzles of rain. We had a luau last night, and literally it was just drizzling rain. I'm like, it's not that bad. It comes and then it goes. And there were just people singing and dancing, in Hawaiian traditional music and attire. So it was fun. And the swimming, the water's calm. It's not super deep in certain areas, and you get to see fishes, and it was really cool. Being able to take my family to a place like this. But I did notice something very odd with my parents. So for someone who might have seemed, fearless when they left Vietnam to come to America, right? At my age, I think they got to America when they're like late 20s, early 30s. They sold everything, left Vietnam, brought our family over here into America, didn't speak the language, didn't know anything. I would think they'd be more fearless being in Hawaii, but they were a little bit more, they were still dependent on me to show them around, which is weird. So I noticed that. And there were moments like that. We were traveling, in Japan, in other areas of like Korea, in now we're in Hawaii. In Vietnam, they were kind of the same too, even though they spoke the language, which is weird. I guess they've been gone for too long. I don't know. But, I'm like, what is this fear? Because we're in Hawaii. You speak the language. There's a Costco down the street. You've been to Costco. You could just take it in my car and drive to Costco. But they were a little fearful, right? And they were just a little nervous about exploring on their own. And so I thought about it, that there's this internal battle that they're fighting, but they don't have the energy or the willpower or the confidence to just overcome that fear, right? The internal fear, this internal battle. Because, it's a lot easier when I'm there because I'm here and I'm leading. It gives them a little bit of courage. So they do explore a little bit further, but, they don't walk away too far where they get to sightsee. But, not too far where like they're gone and you're like, dude, like you're lost, right? Yeah, overcoming that feeling of loss, feeling of insecurity, feeling scared. I would feel fear as well. If I was in another country and I didn't speak the language, and I have experienced that before. In the past, It was a time when I was in Hong Kong by myself on a business trip, and it was experience I'll share another time, but it was not a great experience for me in Hong Kong. I was fearful at the time too as well. But I'm just wondering because I thought about it. I was like, they have self signal. So why didn't they just call me? Right? Because in Japan, I had self signal. They had self signal. In Korea, they did. Everywhere there was self signal. But honestly, it would cost me an arm and a leg if they did call me. But like, what you worry about, right? There's nothing to worry about, really. Now, that feeling of getting lost, feeling of insecurity, feeling of uncertainty, most of our battles are far within, not the external battle. Winning the battle of the mind requires that constant effort and consistency. Why am I sharing that story? Well, it's because we always think about how do we overcome those things? How to get where we want to be? Why are we scared to try to get there, right? What is stopping us? Honestly, the only thing that matters is the action that we take every single day. And I always tell you that this is a reminder. Every Monday is not about motivation. It's just a reminder because you guys are already motivated. We're all motivated here, right? Raise your hand if you're motivated. If you're not, you need to start finding that internal, motivation from somebody. Find that why that you have. Because the business journey requires us taking some level of action every single day. It's very important in this journey. Because without action, there's no result. Without any action, there'll be no results. The only reason why we don't take action is because the fear that put us in a place that get us stuck. The fear keeps us from taking any action. So how do we take action? Well, it starts with gaining some self-confidence. And that's why I saw my parents, they were lacking some of that self-confidence. They had overcome a lot of struggle when they came to America 30 some years ago. I'm 36, by the way, so I'm guessing, 30 years ago. 30 years ago, that's a long time. 30 years is a long time. If you guys think life is short because you're wasting your life. If you're not wasting your life is not very short. You live a very good life if you spend your time going after the things that's important. Spend time with family, going after your dreams, doing something that's meaningful. So having self-confidence is what's required to accelerate your success. Without it, you will be in fear, which lead to inaction, delay, and a lot of procrastination, right? We all suffer procrastination. Raise your hand if you suffer procrastination. Raise your hand, don't lie, because we all do. The reason why we procrastinate is because we're afraid that we might do something wrong or we might fail. And that's another conversation because there's a lot of fear in doing something new. And learning to let go of that fear requires us to take some action that will build us up. However, building that skill can be, hard, challenging, because you don't know where to begin. Honestly, you don't know where to begin. I don't sometimes. And I believe the best way to do this, to build this self-confidence in yourself, is you got to start with building competence. Now, this approach applies to every area of my life, and it can also apply in all the areas of your life. What is self-confidence? I looked this definition up. You can look it up yourself too. And the most accurate one that I found, it is a trust in self, a faith in one's ability to be able to meet a situation as they may arise. This quote from Bernice Moore, she's a researcher in educational leadership, stated, "Self-confidence without competence is of as little use as competence without self-confidence." So what does that mean exactly? It means going to school to study business is competence, but using what you learn from school to be a leader in your business is self-confidence with competence. Right? And what is competence anyway? Competence is the ability to do a task successfully or efficiently. That's really what it is. Like, if you know how to wash the dishes and you go and you watch a bunch of YouTube videos and wash the dishes, and then you went to wash the dishes, you're pretty competent at washing the dishes. Now, if somebody went there and checked you and making sure that your dish is super clean, then yes, you're pretty competent. If it's dirty, then you're not that competent at washing the dishes. And there's people out there that rush through washing dishes and don't do the right job. Now, so the two combination of like having self-confidence and competence is like a rocket fuel that will accelerate you closer to your goals. And remember, having like the self-confidence and not having the competence to take action will be useless. You can have all the self-confidence you want, but without any action, there'll be no results. So, a lot of people that talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk, well, they don't get anywhere. So by developing the skill to start taking action, that's where you're going to get that result. So how do you build that self-confidence? The simple truth is that you guys need to start getting better at the skill you're trying to learn. So to have more self-confidence is to get better at whatever it is that you're doing. So whatever that skill you're developing, you need to get better at it. So what type of skills I'm talking about? So right now we're on this business journey. Product research skill, digital marketing skills, business skills, finance, time management, computer skills, goal setting skills, positive mindset skills. Consistency is a skill. Just showing up and keeping promises to yourself every day is a skill. Some people don't know how to do that. Some people don't know how to be consistent. Women love consistency. I know some of you guys are women here and some of you men here as well. This is a relationship tip. When you're more consistent, the women feel secure and they trust you more. It's a very simple process, right? But we don't get taught that consistency breeds trust and it provides security for other people. And so consistency is actually a pretty important skill to have both in business and in personal life. Like my wife, she feel more secure now, not because I'm great at business. It is because I'm consistent. I'm gonna share with you. Have you guys ever been with a friend who's like, hey, you ask them out for dinner or something? You call them up like, hey, let's schedule a dinner date. Like, let's do it for 5 p.m. at this place. And then you show up at 5 and they're like, sorry, I'm not gonna be there today. Can't make it. No call, no text, maybe an hour later, like, sorry, I can't make it. That sucks, right? Being stood up like that. Imagine if I did that to my wife. She wouldn't be on this trip right now. It'd just be me by myself. I'm just kidding. But that's the truth. Like if you guys, the skill of consistency is really important because it breeds trust, stability, security, and trust. Consistency also applies in business. Show up every day, show up to your team every day. Like I keep a promise to my team too. I show up for every single meeting. If I started missing meetings for no reason, they're gonna be like, man, this guy don't care about the business. This guy don't care about us. Right? So do you care about yourself enough to show up every day for whatever it is that you're trying to improve? So practice consistency. Practice showing up to the gym consistently. Practice reviewing your finances on a weekly basis consistently. Practice 30 minutes a day on product research consistently. The more you prove to yourself with action through developing that competency in that area, the more self-confidence you will have. So the more consistent at product research you spend every single week, every single day, the more self-confidence you have because you have more competency, more experience with that skill. So now you have more self-confidence to continue to take more actions. So for me, the reason why I was able to experience like developing the experience in developing that entrepreneurial skill is because I kept working at it. Imagine if I just stopped. I wouldn't be so confident as I am today. Honestly, that's the truth of it. Like 10 years ago, if I had just stopped and got myself a corporate job, that would be where I am. I'll be fearful. I'll be scared. I wouldn't be out doing more business. I'll just be working a job. But because I kept doing different things, I kept going on. Some people don't do that. Some people actually stop. They're like, yeah, I'm done. I get out of this business. I exit it. I'm great. I'm good. I don't want to do anymore. I'm done. And then they get scared. Why? Because they're not used to getting back into that uncomfortable state, which is the business journey, the entrepreneurship journey. And so for you to develop that skill, that entrepreneur skill, you have to constantly work at it. And this goes with positive mindset. You have to always feed yourself positive things, positive reminder, positive conversation. So today I want to share a few simple steps to help you develop more self-confidence through competency. And some of this process been backed by research. Is a simple process. It's proven to be the most effective at building your self-confidence. Now, it's not easy. It sounds easy, but it's not easy. It does require efforts and hard work and you guys showing up on a consistent basis. And it's pretty much like this. So the first step is improving your skills. Honestly, that's the truth of it. There's nothing else you need but just continuing to improve your skills. You gotta put in the time to take the small steps to learn the skill, product research, building theme pages, or running ads on Amazon, whatever it may be, finance, reviewing your business finance, tracking your finances is a skill. Doing that on a consistent basis every week, every day. Make it into small steps. Don't try to be the best at it. This applies to every skill. Don't try to be the best at it. Start with 30 minutes a day to learn. So for me, I spend 30 minutes an hour a day writing every single day so that I can get better at it. I used to hate writing. I used to think that I suck at writing, but honestly, when you just start writing, you get better at it. So I did it. I started doing it every day. I was like, okay, let's just write every day, 30 minutes, see what happened. And I got better at it. And so spending that 30 minutes, breaking into small steps, small chunks every single day will help you improve your skills. So whatever that skill may be, work at it. Choose one and just get better at it. Don't try to be the best. Just try to get better at it every day. Number two, apply them. So use what you learn. So I learned about public speaking on YouTube. I didn't get a coach to teach me. Maybe I should hire a coach. Maybe I will do that one day. But, I watch YouTube and I use it on the call sometime, learning to be better at storytelling, pausing to create moments of silence for impact. Right now, I'm just pausing just so that you guys can, collect your thoughts, but for me to collect my thoughts too. And so I'm learning all of these things, but I'm trying them out. So are you learning something and then not trying it out? Or are you just rapidly going through a training program just to watch it? Are you reading a book and not doing anything with it? That's the worst thing you could do is like read a book and not take any notes and not apply it to your life. That's the worst thing you can do. Don't do that. Don't be that kind of person. Don't read 100 books a year and not do anything with those books. That's just to me, I think that's a waste of time. You read 100 books and just at the end of the day, you haven't discovered anything or you haven't applied anything. It's really pointless. So apply it. So apply them to your life, apply them to your business, apply them to your work, whatever it may be. When you learn the skill, apply it. Number three, you got to review the results. Just remember, it does not matter if it's good results or bad results. We want good, but sometimes it might not go as planned. Just focus on getting the results and learning from them. Result means you're taking action. No results is worse off than bad results. The reason behind that is because when you have no results, that means you haven't tried anything. You haven't taken action. You haven't done anything. You just literally just listen to a YouTube video. You watch a YouTube short and then you just turn it off, went to sleep, or just swiped up and then moved on. Right? We all done that. I swiped up a couple of times. I love it. That's cool. Next. We all done that. So no results are worse than bad results. Remember that, okay? So you want to have results, some form of result. Review those results. This will show the progress that you make. And every single result is actually progress because you're growing. Decisions are not bad. Decisions are just a way for you to learn that different paths are out there. So as long as you're making decisions, you know, right? Then eventually you start making better decisions. It's a game of quality decision. The higher the quality of your decisions, the higher your quality of life will be. Number 4, grow through experience. You gotta write down the do's and don'ts of your decisions so you can gather your experience playbook. So I do write down some of the things I've learned from my past business, from the decisions that I make today. I write them down on my Evernote, whatever. Maybe if you have an online journal like Notion or your iCloud notes, write down the do's and don'ts of your decision. Big decisions. You don't have to write down your decision on buying milk. Do I want to buy this milk on this date or the next date? No, we're talking about big decisions. Like when I invested into a friend's investment, right? When I put money into a friend investment, and that decision, it was good at the time, but it's not good right now. So I'm down 90% of my money. I have enough money to go buy me a new car, 3 new cars, let's say that. But I'm down 90%, and then I'm thinking back, like, why did I invest in that? Oh, it's because I was greedy. That was one reason, because I was greedy, because the investment was like, oh, I could make a lot of money. I could get like 30% return in like a month, something like that. And I was like, okay, that sounds kind of too good to be true, which it is too good to be true, because um high return equals high risk. And so I wrote those things down, like, okay, I was being greedy, number 1. Number 2, I didn't look at the financials closely. I was just trusting, on a whim. I was blinded by greed, honestly. And it happens sometimes. And it was a lesson learned. Don't open up a restaurant in an area with a poor workforce. I learned that from my restaurant business, how labor is very important when it comes to open up retail restaurants. Location is very important. All of those things I write down. So that's your experience playbook. Don't chase money, chase impact, show up every day. Those are some of the things I've learned. Find a who to help you solve your problems instead of trying to solve it myself. I have a problem with trying to solve all my problems. Dude, all you ladies, stop trying to solve your problems. Go find somebody to solve it for you. Be an easier life. I'm sure there's a man around waiting to help you right now, to save you. Just kidding. But there's always somebody out there to save you guys, okay? There's always somebody to come out there to help you guys. You just gotta reflect and think, okay, who can I ask for help? Is it the client success manager in our training program? Is it friends, family? Is it in the community I can ask for help? Find the who can help you solve your problem. Don't just start out saying, man, I need to do this myself. I need to solve this problem. I used to do that all the time, and I get stressed out. Now I think, okay, who can help me? I guess if I don't have any help, you know what? Guess I got to fix it myself now. And it does happen sometime, but most of the time I have somebody that can help me solve. So last thing, repeat this process. It's simple, but man, this thing requires hard work. You got to show up and you got to keep doing it. It requires a lot of consistency. You can't give up. Giving up means you quit, honestly. So honestly, just keep doing it. Just show up. If it doesn't work out today, show up tomorrow. If it doesn't show up tomorrow, just keep trying. Just keep trying to show up. And this is just a reminder to keep you showing up and doing the work, because that's what requires to succeed. It doesn't matter what else you do in life. If you don't show up and do the work, you're not going to get anything. So by getting better at the skills that you're trying to develop, building up that competency, that's what you're going to build that self-confidence inside of you. This process is simple, but it does require you to be consistent, to show up. But when you stick with it, you're definitely going to have that courage to take action, right? You're going to start stepping away from fear and just leaning into courage, leaning into your confidence. And this applies to being a better cook, parenting, business, relationship, any areas of your life. If you treat it the same way as this process, you're going to get better at it. And you're going to get successful results the more you stick to it.